Good evening and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to present my Oscar predictions for the month of December. There's been a lot of things that have been happening with the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice, revealing their nominations, and we're going to jump right into it. So one bad after another is the clear frontrunner for Best Picture. It's been winning a lot of critic awards for Best Picture. So that one's pretty obviously the frontrunner, and I think that number 2 right now is Sinners. Sinners is looking like a close second, and it's gonna be interesting to see how many nominations both of these films get at the Oscars because they're contending for a lot of tech categories and then acting categories. I think both of these films are gonna be duking it out to the end of the year. And it's possible that one of these two films, if not both of them, could get 14 nominations with the new category of casting and the fact that it's just in contention with so many categories, which will break all that down throughout the video. Number 3, I have Hamnet. Hamnet's the TIFF winner. It's a pretty sure bet that this is going to get nominated. Sentimental Value, it was just an accident. Those are getting nominated. Those are the international features. Films that are going to get in. Mario Supreme, looking really good. It kind of underperformed at the Golden Globes, but it did well at the Critics' Choice, and I think that there's enough there to where it will still get in. I would be really shocked if that got snubbed. Frankenstein is number 7 for me. It's just been so strong everywhere, just getting like numerous director nominations for like Guillermo del Toro and getting the picture nominations, and now that it looks like it's going to get a supporting actor nomination and maybe a screenplay nomination. Frankenstein's looking good. Begonia has just been getting the nominations. It's gotten picture nominations. It got the Golden Globe. It got the Critics' Choice. And Emma Stone has been showing up everywhere. It's been showing up everywhere in Screenplay. And I think this movie is starting to just look more secure. It's possible that Begonia could miss the Critics' Choice, for example, but I don't really see a reason to predict against this movie at the moment. And then 9 and 10 is where things get a little interesting here, because I think there's 5 films that are competing for these last 2 slots. And number 9, I have The Secret Agent. This is another international film that looks like it's gonna get nominated, and it got the Golden Globe for drama. Plus, Wagner Moura has been showing up everywhere, and it did really well at the Golden Globes. It overall just feels like it's got the momentum on its side, and I feel pretty good about The Secret Agent. I think there's enough there to where it could end up getting nominated, and that would make it 3 international films if The Secret Agent does get in. And then number 10 is the one where I'm just really struggling here to figure out what's gonna get this last slot, because I'm thinking between No Other Choice, Wicked for Good, Train Dreams, and Jay Kelly. And starting with No Other Choice, got the Golden Globe nomination. It got the screenplay nomination of the Critics' Choice, and it's a film that that Neon is really trying to push. A lot of people are really wanting to see this film get in. However, the Oscar shortlist released a couple of days ago, and it did not do well in the Oscar shortlist. It missed a lot of stuff, only getting an international feature, and The Secret Agent showed up a lot more on the shortlist. This is why I have that in at number 9 over No Other Choice. And No Other Choice, while I do think it could still get nominated, this would make it 4 international films, and you kind of have to wonder, is the Academy really going to stretch that far to put 4 international films? That would be amazing if they did, but I'm just not so sure. And they're all being campaigned by Neon. Neon has been going all out this year, and I do think that No Other Choice could maybe get snubbed in picture, because I don't think it's going to get PGA, and we won't know anything about BAFTA, because the BAFTA nominations are after the Oscar nominations. So I don't really know what to do with No Other Choice at the moment, because I do think it can get in, but I'm just not sure. And then I have to talk about Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good, in the lead up, seems like it was doing so well, and then once the film hit, it got mixed reviews, okay? And after that, people were thinking, oh, it's just gonna go down, it's gonna go down, and it is going down. However, it did get 5 Golden Globe nominations. However, it missed the comedy musical picture, which was shocking because the Golden Globes love their musicals, and very surprising that it missed that. However, the Oscar shortlist, it got like every single category, like even casting and cinematography. So I'm a little confused about what's going on with Wicked. I don't really know what's going on with Wicked. I don't know if the Oscars will go for it. I still feel like it could be Black Panther Wakanda Forever, where it gets 5 nominations, but then it just doesn't get in the picture. Or it's Dune Part 2, where it squeezes in the picture and it just gets half the nominations the first film got. So, kind of confusing about Wicked for Good. I don't really know what to do with this film, because I do think it's going to get a lot of tech nominations. Like, I feel like Wicked for Good's gonna get at least 5 Oscar nominations. Like, that's where my head is at right now with Wicked for Good. I just don't know if it's gonna get in the picture. You know, missing the comedy musical at the Golden Globes is kind of a hit for it. But yet it did so well at the Oscar shortlist, and that doesn't mean it's got all those nominations, but, you know, you never know. We'll have to see how well it does in the BAFTA long list, and if it can get the PGA. I think that's gonna be a good indicator for that film. And then number 12, I have Train Dreams. This got the Critics' Choice for Best Picture. Joe Edgerton has also been showing up in places, and he's like a contender. This film's also contending for like screenplay and some tech categories. And it's being campaigned by Netflix. Netflix seems like they're trying to get this film into Best Picture, and a lot of people are predicting Train Dreams. But I don't know. It's just not the sort of like Oscar film that you would expect to get nominated at the end of the day. And while I do think it does have a chance, I am a little skeptical about it getting in at the end of the day. It just doesn't seem like it's the sort of player that would get in, but we'll have to see. It has been doing pretty well this season. Jay Kelly is number 13. This film, I don't know. I'm on the fence with Jay Kelly, to be honest, because like it missed the comedy musical at the Globes. Adam Sandler seems like he's like streaking at like number 6. George Clooney isn't really showing up in spots. Like, he didn't get the Critics' Choice, and I don't expect him to get SAG. Well, he could get SAG. Who knows? And BAFTA, we don't know. Best Actor is, like, pretty competitive. And, I don't know, Jay Kelly just feels like it could just end up dropping. I think Jay Kelly needs to get PGA to show strength. Because the Oscar shortlist did not really give it much love. So that's where I'm at with Jay Kelly. Avatar Fire and Ash doesn't seem like it's getting nominated. Just seems like it's inferior compared to The Way of Water. And also, there's just more competition this year. The Way of Water got in because it got better reviews, first of all. And then second of all, there was less competition that year. And then Blue Moon is a film I am kind of looking out for. Because it got the comedy musical film. And Ethan Hawke has been like showing up everywhere. I'm kind of wondering if Ethan Hawke could maybe win the Golden Globe over Chalamet, but I don't know. So that's what I'm looking out for. I wonder if it could also like squeeze in the PGA. We also have to see if like Andrew Scott is like potentially a player for that film. F1, I'll talk more in the tech categories, but this one would be like a big surprise if it got in. It feels like it's just contending with tech categories. But I will say with F1 that it does feel like something that the PGA would nominate. So F1, something to look out for. Sarat I have in here because it did so well on the Oscar shortlist. I was actually really surprised how well this film did, and getting just like a bunch of nominations. But I don't expect to see it in the picture. And then the most disappointing thing about this is Ann Lee. Ann Lee got like completely shut out of the Oscar shortlist. And I'm so disappointed that they just like did not give a fuck about this film, and it just missed everything. It was so gosh damn disappointing. And now we'll get into Best Actress, but that film just like is completely dead. Searchlight does not seem like they're campaigning this film, and I'm now worried about Seyfried, which we'll get more into that when we get to Actress. Best Director, this is a very competitive category this year, but I will say that Paul Thomas Anderson is like the only one that feels like a lock. He's just been showing up everywhere, and it seems like that this is his year, that he's finally going to win his Oscar, and thank God, because he like deserves it. He's been putting out good work, and he's has like 12, 13 Oscar nominations and like no wins. Like, this feels like it's the year for PTA to win, and I think it's going to be a lot of people rooting for him. And then number 2 and 3, I have Joachim Trier and Jafar Panahi. Now, why do I have these two? at 2 or 3. Because the Oscars love nominating international directors, okay? We've just been seeing a consistent trend of them doing this, and the fact that they nominated like Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall when they didn't have to do that tells me that both of these men are going to get nominated, okay? And plus both of these films are competing for the international feature category, and they both have gotten the Golden Globe, they both have gotten the Critics' Choice. One of them may end up missing, like DGA, like Jafar Panahi may miss, maybe Joachim Trier, who knows? But I just really would be shocked if both of these men missed. Number 4, I have Ryan Coogler. Some people were starting to get a little worried about Ryan Coogler, thinking that he would miss for Sinners, and, you know, kind of like how Denis Villeneuve missed for Dune. Just like this big tech player that just ends up getting snubbed. But the fact that Sinners is looking like number 2 for Best Picture tells me that he's still going to get in. I still think Ryan Coogler is going to get nominated. He's got the Golden Globe. He has the Critics' Choice. He'll probably get the DGA. And I feel like that the Academy's going to go for him. I am a little worried about him, though, because he could get snubbed. I do think he could get snubbed. But at number 5, I have Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, and maybe she could get snubbed. I would be shocked if she did get snubbed, but, like, someone is going to get snubbed in this category, because then we gotta talk about number 6, Guillermo del Toro, which Frankenstein has just been so effing strong that I really am debating if Guillermo del Toro is going to get in, because he's got the Critics' Choice, he has the Golden Globe, I think he's going to get DGA, and then the BAFTA long list, he'll show him the BAFTA long list. So, like, he'll have everything. It's like, are we really gonna bet, like, against Guillermo del Toro with Frankenstein being so strong? Like, I really don't know what to do here. Because I feel like Ryan Coogler or Chloe Zhao could maybe get snubbed in exchange for Guillermo del Toro, who the Oscars had nominated before, and he's kind of like an Academy darling. So this is a really, like, tight top 6, and someone is going to get snubbed. And then I didn't talk about Josh Safdie from Mario Supreme, who ended up missing the Golden Globe nomination. However, his film is strong, and he still feels like he could sneak into this category. He could maybe get DGA. He's definitely someone to watch out for, because he has been putting up a lot of good work, and they are campaigning him for director, and he could, like, sneak in here. I think it's very possible. But he's just not as strong compared to the others here. So this is a really competitive category. It's going to be interesting to see what they ultimately would do. But I just feel better about this top 5, and that's why I have Guillermo del Toro out. But I don't feel confident about having Guillermo del Toro out, because I could easily see him get in. Okay, so this could potentially be a crazy category. Number 8, Park Chan-wook, no other choice. I think there's too much competition for him to get in, but it would be really cool to see him get in. And then the director for The Secret Agent. The Secret Agent has just been very, very strong. And this would be a shock if he got in. But it's something that I just can't ignore, because The Secret Agent looks like it's getting the Best Picture. And I think it can get the screenplay as well. Yorgos Lanthimos is probably not going to have for Begonia. And then everything else is I just have on this list. And R.I.P. to Mona Vaspel for Anne Lee. That's just not going to happen anymore. Moving on to the Best Actor, I have Timothée Chalamet, number 1 for Mario Supreme. He still seems like he's, like, the frontrunner for Best Actor, but a lot of, like, critics circles awards, they've been kind of split in, like, Best Actor, where it seems like him, Ethan Hawke, Wagner Moura, DiCaprio, and Michael B. Jordan have all gotten several wins. I think Michael B. Jordan's, like, has, like, a slight lead above everyone else. But, you know, this makes sense. It is Sinners, and the critics' circles would be friendly towards that film. But I have Timothée Chalamet at number 1. Now, number 2, you may be surprised I have Ethan Hawke at number 2 for Blue Moon. Why do I have him number 1? Because Blue Moon got the comedy musical category, which means the Golden Globes love Blue Moon, and I could see a world in which they end up giving Ethan Hawke the award over Chalamet at the Golden Globes. Because Mario Supreme did underperform at the Golden Globes, which shows that they may not be that crazy about Mario Supreme. I'll talk more about that when we get to our Golden Globe predictions later on. But I could see a world where Ethan Hawke could potentially win this category, because he has been in the field for a long time. He's been nominated at the Oscars before. And, maybe this could be a career narrative for him. Who knows? Number 3, Wagner Moura, the secret agent. He is a lock. You would be crazy to bet against him. Like, he's not going to, repeat a Fernando Torres, right? But no, it's absolutely happening. In fact, the secret agent is stronger than I'm Still Here, and he's going to get nominated. He's going to win the drama Golden Globe, so he could be in winning contention in this category too. And for DiCaprio, he's a lock in this category. The reason why I have him at 4 is that I just don't see him winning for this film. I know people are predicting him to win, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see the incentive to give him a second Oscar for this. He is very good in the film, and a lot of people are giving him a lot of praise and everything. But I don't know. My gut is telling me that he's not going to be the actor that will win in this category. I do think One Battle of Another is going to win something in the acting categories, but I just don't think it's going to be lead actor. I just don't think DiCaprio is going to be the one. And then number 5, Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan has just been strong and shown up everywhere. But I am still skeptical about this because he is playing a dual lead performance, and the Oscars have never nominated something like that. So he could potentially get snubbed here. Kind of like how Margot Robbie got snubbed for Barbie. She showed up everywhere, and yet she got snubbed. However, Sinners is stronger than Barbie at this point of the year, so I do feel good about him. But let's go over some of the other contenders. Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams. He's been doing really well. And if Train Dreams gets in the Best Picture, you gotta watch out for him to get into Best Actor. Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen. Springsteen's been kind of dead, honestly, but he did get the drama Golden Globe. I would watch out for him in SAG, and it is still a biopic performance, and it seems like the only nomination that this film is realistically has a shot at getting. It did make the sound shortlist, but I don't think it's going to contend in other categories other than this. He missed the Critics' Choice. But I'm still looking out for Jeremy Allen White. I don't think we can totally dismiss him. Jesse Plemons for Begonia got the comedy musical, but it doesn't seem like he's getting enough of a push to get in. But I would love to see Jesse Plemons get in. But the fact that he missed the Critics' Choice tells me no. George Clooney, Jay Kelly, doesn't seem like he's strong enough to get in with the competition here. I just don't see George Clooney getting in. I think that he has a chance to get in if Jay Kelly does get in the Best Picture. I'd say look out for him. But since I have Jay Kelly in Best Picture, I ain't putting George Clooney in. And then Dwayne Johnson, The Smashing Machine, he got the Golden Globe drama, and I think he's gonna get SAG. Now, why is he at number 10? Well, because The Smashing Machine is they're just not really pushing that film in Best Picture, and it seems like that film is only contending for makeup. It's also contending for this category and supporting actress, but I think it has a uphill climb to get into these categories. But I definitely would watch out for Dwayne Johnson. I think the problem with Dwayne Johnson is that he is more like an action star, and he's going drama here, and the Oscars just don't really do that. Then Lee Bong Kong for No Other Choice got the comedy actor, but there's too much competition for him to get in. Plus, No Other Choice is not as strong compared to the films I have in the top 5. Oscar Isaac, glad that he got the Golden Globe, but I don't think he's getting the Oscar nomination. And then Daniel Day-Lewis is just rip. He's just not getting in for an Emmy. Even though he is Daniel Day-Lewis, they ain't campaigned that movie. And that movie got mixed reviews. No one cares about that film. So he's not getting in. Moving on to Best Actress, Jesse Plemons, Renee Raspa are locked. They're duking it out for the win. But I do think Jessie Buckley is going to win in this category. Emma Stone for Begonia, she's just been strong. She's been getting in everywhere. And Begonia looking like it's going to get in the Best Picture, maybe with just 3 categories, including this one. And she is Emma Stone. I do think she's getting in. And then number 4, Rose Byrne. I wasn't really predicting her at the beginning of the year because I just didn't know much about this, but she's been showing some strength in this category, and in a way that I wasn't anticipating. And a lot of people are putting her in, and I do think that she will get in. And then the fifth spot is very interesting because Cypher looked like the lock for Ann Lee. But then Ann Lee missed every fucking goddamn Oscar shortlist. And that film looks like it's it's like Amanda Seyfried or bust. And I think it may end up being bust. Because although they are campaigning Seyfried in, they just don't care about that movie. And if your movie is like weak overall, you could just end up missing. But I feel like she could still get in because, remember how like Anna de Armas got in for Blonde? Even though that movie was not in. And plus, she's gotten everything so far. But I do feel like she's going to miss SAG, and we won't know what the BAFTAs are going to be like towards Ann Lee as of the recording of this video. So I'm worried about Seyfried. I really am worried about her, considering who could end up getting over her. And I'm really looking at Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another. That film is strong, and they are campaigning her, and she could get in. I do think she is very strong in this category. It is kind of hard to leave her out. A lot of people are starting to put her in the top 5. But I am kind of hope-dicting for Amanda Seyfried. I hope that she can get in. Kate Hudson, Song Sung Blue, she is also a strong contender. And if she gets SAG, she's going to be even stronger. Cynthia Erivo, Wicked for Good, doesn't look like she's getting in. She couldn't even get the Critics' Choice, which is like shocking. And I was thinking that at the beginning of the year that she would not get in, even though everyone was putting her in. I was just like, you know what, maybe she doesn't get nominated, folks. And here we are. She doesn't look like she's getting nominated. Jennifer Lawrence, Die My Love. She's really good in the film, but that film is, no one gives a crap about that film. And I think that just hurts her. Julia Roberts, After Hunt, she got the Golden Globe nomination, but she's not going to happen. Tessa Thompson, Hedda, not going to happen. Eva Victor got the Golden Globe nomination, but I don't expect her to make any splash. Moving on to supporting actor, this category has just been like very interesting lately because it seemed like Stellan Skarsgård was the frontrunner, but then Sean Penn started becoming a frontrunner, and then once we got to critics' awards and wins, for some reason Benicio del Toro has just been winning all the awards, which is like shocking. I don't really understand why this is happening. I think it's because he's like playing a anti-ICE agent and like pro-immigrant and stuff, but I don't know, like he was good in the film, but he wasn't a standout for me. I thought that Sean Penn was more of a standout in Chase Infinity, and even like Sean Penn and Tiana Taylor, like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see that he's winning all these awards, and it kind of feels like they're giving him awards for political points other than it being like the strongest performance. Because I still have Stellan Skarsgård number 1, and I still think he should be winning the Oscar. He is fantastic in this film. He's had a long career, and it seems like his career has been building up to this film. Like, Skarsgård, I think, should be winning this category, but unfortunately, it looks like it's very competitive. I still have Sean Penn number 2, but maybe the Oscars aren't willing to give a villain performance the win, even though he is very good. Plus, he has Oscars already. But Benicio del Toro has an Oscar too. Like, he has an Oscar too. Like, are we gonna give him another Oscar for this? I would just be really shocked. Regardless, all 3 of them are docs. Paul Mescal, he's getting in for Hamnet. He doesn't seem as strong though, compared to like Jesse Buckley strong, but he has been getting all the nominations so far. So it'd be, and Hamnet is strong in Best Picture, so it'd be kind of foolish to predict against them. And then this 5th spot is just between Jacob Elordi and Adam Sandler at this point. Like, they're duking it out for the 5th spot. And the fact that Frankenstein is stronger in picture compared to Jake Kelly tells me that Elordi's gonna get in. However, I can't see a world where Adam Sandler gets the SAG nomination over Elordi, but even then I still would predict Elordi because they are campaigning him. He's been on the campaign trail, and he's in the stronger film. And he's gotten a lot of claim for it. Adam Sandler can get in, but only if Jake Kelly gets in the Best Picture. And Frankenstein is for sure getting the Best Picture. Jake Kelly is not a guarantee. So, there you go. And then everything else I just don't think is possible. Delroy Lindo doesn't seem like he's happening. I don't see Miles Caine getting in. Jonathan Bailey, I was kind of thinking that he could get in, but, I don't think it's going to happen. Jeremy Strong's dead for Springsteen. Andrew Scott's the one to look out for Blue Moon, but I don't expect him to get in. And supporting actress, I have Tiana Taylor at number 1, okay? This may be a little surprising, But, I think One Battle with Another is going to win an acting award, and maybe she could end up winning. Like, she's not in the film that much, but she does end up making a standout. She does stand out from the film. Like, her presence is kind of felt throughout the entire film, even though she is not physically present in much of this movie. And, they do, and yeah, she's not in the film that much, but the Oscars have done this before, where they end up giving a win for someone who may not be in the film that much, but they are a standout. So I have her at number one, but I do think Amy Madigan for Weapons is a close second. Okay, she's gotten everything. She's Amy Madigan. She has a career behind her, and she has a narrative. Okay, for Weapons. The problem is that Weapons is just not as strong, like, overall. Like, Weapons, like, missed makeup shortness, which was really surprising. Because it's like, you think of that movie, and you think of just, like, all that makeup put on Amy Madigan, looking like a clown and everything, and for some reason, she's just not... The makeup department was just like, nah, I don't care about that. So, kind of interesting to see. I do think that she will get nominated. And then we have the two sentimental girls, Inga Epstein-Elias and Elle Fanning. They're both getting nominated. Elle Fanning is getting nominated. Don't think that she's gonna get snubbed. Some people are thinking that she gets snubbed, and I just don't believe that. I think she is strong enough to get nominated. And then the split spot is fun, okay? Because Ariana Grande seems like that she is the frontrunner, and for some people she still is a frontrunner, because they don't know who's winning the category. But the problem is that Wicked for Good is kind of weak. It's kind of weak, but it isn't weak. She could end up just like missing like SAG randomly, and then we have to like sound the alarm saying, "Oh no, Ariana Grande, she's in trouble." But I still have her in. She is the standout at Wicked for Good, and again, if Wicked for Good is Black Panther Wakanda Forever, she can get in. Angela Bassett got in for Black Panther. But she's not a lock in this category at all, okay? Like, you really do have to be careful with Grande. She could end up getting snubbed. And if she does get snubbed, who gets in over her? And I have a couple of options here. I think Odessa Zion, even though she hasn't gotten anything yet, she could sneak in for Mari Supreme. She seems like she's more of a standout than Gwyneth Paltrow. I just don't think Gwyneth Paltrow is the supporting actress that would get in. I don't think she is. I think it's Odessa Zion. She could pull like a Monica Barbaro, where she just gets SAG, and then she gets the Oscar. So I think you gotta watch out for her in SAG. Another person you gotta watch out for SAG is Emily Blunt. She got the Golden Globe nomination, which a lot of people were not expecting that to happen. And she could end up like being a sneaky player here, especially if like Dwayne Johnson gets in unexpectedly. Well, then again, we would know that she would get in, but I don't think she will get in at the end of the day. I think someone that's more likely is Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners. She got the Critics' Choice nomination, which was big for her, and she is in Sinners. She is a standout in that film, and she is someone that could sneak into this category. I think that she is definitely someone to watch out for her. We'll see. Let's see if she gets SAG. I think that will be very telling if she can get in or not. And again, talk about Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't think she's getting nominated. Glenn Close doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. Regina Hall, people were thinking that she can get in, but no, it's just not gonna happen. Moving on to original screenplay, I still have Sinners out front for original screenplay. I think that this film just has a very original concept, and that is a clear frontrunner, okay? It's going to win the Critics' Choice for original screenplay. Maybe even the Golden Globe, we'll have to see, and it is the clear frontrunner. So number two, I have It Was Just an Accident. This film feels like it could maybe get in. Jafar Panahi has been on the campaign trail, and he has been making speeches, and I think it could maybe end up getting the win over Sinners. We'll have to see. Cinema Value is number three. It's kind of in win contention too. Mari Supreme is getting nominated for original screenplay. It got the Golden Globe nomination as well, so that helps it. And then you get to the fifth spot, which I'm kind of leaning more towards The Secret Agent, just because of how strong that film has been overall. And the fact that I'm Still Here got in the Best Picture and could have possibly showed up in Screenplay at the Oscars, I don't know. I'm feeling like The Secret Agent's going to happen in Screenplay. I just feel like this is going to happen. But you do have Jake Kelly at number 6. Jake Kelly can get in here. In fact, it needs to get in here if it's going to get picture. Weapons is a possibility that could happen. If I had Laser, I'd Kick You. I think it's possible, but I don't think it will get in. I'm glad to see that House of Dynamite is not going to get Screenplay because that movie sucks, and I was worried that it could get into Screenplay, but nope, it's not going to happen. Best Adapted Screenplay, this is going to one battle after another. I know Hamlet's there and that it looks like a challenger, but I don't think Hamlet's winning, okay? It does not seem like it's going to win. It does kind of feel like it's a screenplay film. It kind of is, but I don't think it's going to have the legs to get in over PTA. Like, PTA is going to win his Oscar for this. Begonia, getting in everywhere, looking very strong in screenplay. I think it'd be kind of foolish to bet against that. Train Dreams, I have at number 4. It got the Critics' Choice nomination, and it feels strong enough in this category where it could get in. And then number 5, I think, is between 3 movies: No Other Choice, Frankenstein, and then Wake Up Dead Man. Starting with Wake Up Dead Man, it seemed like it was going to get in here, but that film got completely blanked at the Golden Globes, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna get nominated because it just feels weaker overall. And then you have Frankenstein, which a lot of people are putting in Frankenstein, but I'm not putting in Frankenstein because it's just not a screenplay movie, okay? This is not a movie that gets into screenplay. I know that Frankenstein is stronger overall, but this film really gonna get in the screenplay? I'm very skeptical about that, and so I have No Other Choice in for screenplay. I think that this film can get in the screenplay, and I feel like if it's going to get in the Best Picture, it needs to get screenplay. This is a screenplay film. If it does not get screenplay, I do not think it's getting into the Best Picture. And that's why I have No Other Choice in over Frankenstein. It's also why I have Train Dreams in here too, because Train Dreams and No Other Choice need to get into this category to get in the picture. I just do not see a world where they get in the picture without this category. Wicked for Good, doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. I kind of randomly have Newer Vlog in here just because it got the Golden Globe Comedy Musical category kind of out of nowhere, but I don't expect it to show up in screenplay. I just don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna split this video into 2 parts. This is gonna be the first part talking about the other categories, and then I'll make another video covering the rest of the categories. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. What film are you rooting for to get into Best Picture?